Looks like we're good to start. Welcome. Thank you all so very much for all of your hard work. I don't know how you folks were able to manage to squeeze this little event into your days. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Marianne, would you like to open us up?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So first of all, welcome. Happy Friday. You've made it. All of us have made it for whatever that means anymore. But Claudio's been keeping us up to date. And I don't know if I introduced myself the other day, but I'm Assistant Director at the FedEx Institute of Technology over operations and marketing. And so this has really given us, this situation has really given us an opportunity to connect with people in different ways. And so we're excited to see what these projects bring. We're obviously planning more to get our researchers out there to see how this pandemic is, affecting so many areas of our lives. And so this is just one key thing that we're doing, and really excited to see these projects and just see how they can come to fruition, possibly, for Memphis. So thank you all for participating, and good luck.
Well, thank you.
Sweet. So we do have two judges. They are Miss Audrey Willis and Miss Ellen Paddock, if you'd like to say hi. Sweet. We are going to be awarding prizes after they finish totaling everything up and getting it back to us. We're hoping to announce everything on Monday to review those prizes. There are tickets available to the Treetop Adventure in Shelby Farms. Go Ape. If you haven't done that, it's pretty fun. You get to run around in the treetops. Once they open back up, should be fun for one of your teams. We also have a reservation in the Memphis Presentation Theater. It's an amazing little venue inside the FedEx Institute of Technology. We also have ebooks from O'Reilly Media. And then every person that participated in this hackathon is getting a special gift from O'Reilly Media. It is a 1-month free trial of their learning platform. Let's see. All right, we have a rep from the 3 projects we're going to be going over today. So Maya, Gabriel, and Greg, who would like to go first? Greg it is.
I guess I will go first. Let me share screen. And go. Good afternoon, y'all. Today I want to present the Good Deeds Virtual Marketplace, connecting urgent needs with good deeds. Donors need help. We've got a situation where there's plenty of people who want to do something, want to give, have things that they want to give, and they have no earthly idea how to do this. For example, let's say that you had a laptop you wanted to donate. Well, if you knew about it, you would probably get in touch with one of the other groups who is presenting today, who is collecting laptops. But you'd have to know about it. If, on the other hand, if you were going to donate money, they're not going to be the ones who are going to handle the money. You would want to donate someplace else, like School Seed. But how are the donors going to know how to donate where? And that's where our project comes in. Here we have money or devices or school supplies or PPE or honestly volunteer time. How are they going to get these to the needs? On the other side, you have the nonprofits who need these donors and really are sometimes at a loss to figure out how to connect to the donors who really want to donate to what they provide. So you have Red Cross, United Way, YMCA, School Seed. You have all sorts of organizations who are involved with getting donations to people, but the people don't know which organization to use, and choosing the wrong one, that means that you don't necessarily get to the right to the use that you wish to have, and that makes people have less confidence in these organizations. What we want to do is bring them together. We want to be a one-stop aggregator where these organizations can say, all right, if you want to do this, if you want to donate a laptop, or if you want to spend time, or if you want to put some money in towards a particular use, you can go here and one place, one-stop shopping, because we don't have another way to do this anymore. Perhaps in the past, there was an extent to which maybe some media were doing this, but not really. Not at this level. And we can have this happening for individual donors, accessible in their home, and they can do this instantaneously. It's like buying those extra peanuts, extra cashews. You get the donors while they're thinking about it. If you wait until, if you make them stretch out time, and if you make them jump through hoops, those donations are going to disappear. That's where Good Deeds comes in. We serve as an aggregator, a one-stop shopping site for all sorts of organizations. And we've already been in contact with some of these. I can guarantee you we will be in contact with almost all of them in one way or another within the next couple of months. And the idea is we help them get the donations, and we and maintain track so that the donors know that the donations are going where they want. Good Deeds Virtual Marketplace is set up to handle multiple recipients, can be organized by recipient type, schools, hospitals, support organizations, whatever. Can be organized by donation type, money, goods, time. And because we will be keeping track, the donations can be acknowledged, and we can feed back the results to the donors. And that's important. That is what the donors are looking for. They're looking for that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. Okay, my donation did what I wanted it to do. Now, let me take us over and show just the first draft of the site. And we only had a minimal amount of time to work with it so far. Though, yes, we have the domain name and the site, and the idea is that this site will be one-stop shop, and these links will go directly to the organization that is doing this. We won't be handling the money. We won't be handling the goods we won't be scheduling people, but we will be sending the people to the organizations who are looking for them. All right. Now, before I go into listing the core team, let me tell you where we are so far in terms of connection with these other organizations. We are very actively communicating with School Seed. I have meetings with their board tentatively scheduled within next month. We are actively communicating with the Mid-South Mid-South United Way. We are actively in communication with Black Girls Code. We are actively in communication with BDCPA. There are other organizations that we will be scheduling meetings with relatively soon, within the next month or two. So this is something that is going to be moving forward. And here's our core team. James Bell, who has been absolutely amazing in helping hone our message. This is me, Natalia Higdon, our chief of all tech. Tessia Marshall, who has also helped us with our message and with marketing plans. Vince McCaskill, who has been absolutely wonderful in helping us set up, because our first direction is going to be a collaboration with School Seed. Kevin Morellis, who is the visionary with the original idea for this, and Joshua Shelton, who has been wonderful at getting us logo and other support. And we have here is our generous supporters slide. I'd also like to make a call out to Memphis Technology Foundation for getting us the theme that we are working on, the WordPress theme that we are working on. And at this point, I'm ready to take questions.
Very cool. When do you think the site's going to be live? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
and finished.
I mean, live, you can already see it right now. Finished, that cool. That's going to. I think that it's going to be a work in progress for a little bit, in terms of the first thing we want to do is just finish off getting it, getting things in place. We're going to have the filtering and searching capacity in place, and then we are going to be working very closely with our nonprofit partners in terms of imaging, text placement.
Hey, thanks, Greg, for a great presentation. This is Ellen, one of the judges, and I'm with the City of Memphis. So I can see from your website how it'll really help nonprofits connecting with donors, but one piece you mentioned in your initial presentation is that it would also help individuals who may have needs but aren't connected with either nonprofits or donors to kind of plug in. So could you talk more about that side, where if somebody, say a family or an individual, they need books for their kids or whatever the case may be, how they could connect either with nonprofits or directly with the donors, what that piece looks like?
Well, we are not planning on handling individual recipients. However, the individual recipients can go through and look and see which organizations are handling their kind of problem. And then they can go and connect with the organizations. That helps them see who is dealing with this. Where do I go? In the same way that the donors see who is dealing with this, where do I donate?
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Sweet. Does anybody else have any questions for Greg?
I did. Great presentation. I love the concept. I think one of like the biggest problems have been having a set of people wanting to volunteer versus being able to get the help to those that need it the most. But what I was wondering was, yes, this works for like larger things, but how does it relate to like the grander scheme of things? So what would stop me from going to Goodwill versus using your website? Or in terms of like donations, what would stop me from going to like a GoFundMe versus using your organization?
Well, a couple things. Number one, we do the tracking, we do the accountability, we see donation went to this organization. We get information back from the organization how it was used. Another is that I don't know how many of us are actually taking things out to Goodwill right now. Many of us are not leaving our houses, but all of us are capable of making a donation from the web. And I think that we are definitely looking at a change in new reality in terms of how people are going to be interacting, that online commerce, online interaction is going to be a much, much, much bigger part of our future. And being able to stake this out is going to make such a big difference in being able to catch people while they're thinking about it.
I have a quick follow-up question on that. That was a great question, Audrey. So I can visualize pretty easily how you would track financial donations, since there's already a lot of precedent for that with PayPal or PAL or what have you. But for kind of in-kind donations or volunteer times, it seems like it would be a little trickier. So is that something that'll be kind of self-reported from the organizations, or how would you track material?
Yes, the idea is that we will be working with the organizations to have them feed back to us what the results are so that we can report back to the donors. It's going to be a two-way street. The organizations are not just going to be receiving, they're going to have to give back some information. And honestly, they're also going to have to help us survive. This is not something that just magically happens free. There is infrastructure, but but it will be our task to impress upon the organizations the importance of bringing that information back, instead of individual donors trying to flood the organizations with, okay, what happened to this, what happened to that, and the organizations don't have time to deal with 1,000 individual donor queries. But if they get just one daily or weekly query from us, that's something they can manage.
Can I, Greg, do you mind if I add on a little bit to the feedback regarding Audrey's question?
Sure.
So one of the things you just think about this from a e-commerce marketplace kind of perspective, right? You may go to Amazon, or you can go directly to that brand. Our goal is certainly not to stop you from going to that brand. Our goal is to make it easy for you to to find what you're looking for, and really just to be that one place, because that's really the key problem that I see is just you have many different places you can go. You use Google and you can't find it. I mean, in fact, Audrey, you and I connected. I was trying to figure out where I could go to donate laptops, right? And I'd use my personal network to figure out to give it to, hand it over to Mecca at Code Crew. That's just not a sustainable model. So the whole idea is make it easy. And then the other piece about, making it easy is also to be where everybody's at. So already started reaching out to some of the media organizations to basically be a link that they can put in and even monetize around it. They want to put advertising around it, but the idea is it's everywhere, it's easy, it's fast, it's simple for all parties.
Thank you, Kevin.
Sweet. All right. If there's no other questions, we'll go to the next group. Do we want to do underserved connections for Douglas High School or unemployed workers portal? Who would like to go?
We can go. We can go.
Perfect.
Oh. And I will turn it over to my partner in crime, Aaron Chakra.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I don't have a camera, but I do have a screen, so I can share that. Everything in order. Dependent. Okay. Cool. Present. Working. Okay, so we are Level Up Memphis. We are here to help you level up your career, especially if you are a displaced worker. So workers have been displaced. There's thousands of workers that have been displaced in many different industries. You have food service, hospitality, event workers, IT workers, programmers. There's thousands of people out there who simply need a chance or an opportunity to generate some income right now, at least until their old job or type of work is available again. There's a lot of jobs out there, but how does one differentiate themselves from everybody else? Like if you are a part of 1,000 people who were laid off in the food industry, how do you set yourself apart from other people that worked in the same industry as you for 3 to 5 years? How do you learn new skills in these uncertain times? Like you don't have time to go to school right now, or a lengthy process. You need to take your skills that you have and find a good place for it. So how do you work temporary jobs right now until you can go back to your old one? There's a lot of confusion, obstacles, and it can create it could be very overwhelming and scary to some people who don't know, who have to wait for their application to be seen and all that. So and there's a lot of ways people can currently do this. There's Indeed, Monster, there's economic initiatives like Memphis Chamber, Workforce Investment Network, Small Business Development Center. All these are great, but as we did our research, we found that there's certain aspects that the applicant may not like about these, and there's a very long process. They're very employer focused, in that it's really easy for an employer to go on there and post a job description, but it's hard for the applicant to get a good feedback loop of, is this the right job for me? You know, you can't really ask that employer, hey, I have these skills. I was a bartender, would you hire me? You know, you don't have that loop. And they don't give you a way to build a portfolio. If you're a bartender and then you work as a, you know, help desk support for a month, like does that really matter in terms of like your career? Maybe not. But if you have a way to kind of have a portfolio, maybe when you go back to your bartender job, you might want to pursue that help desk job on the side. And then it's fragmented. You know, there's a lot of different spots where jobs are posted, but which one has the job for you? And also there's a lot of mismatched jobs. You know, you might take a job and doing door-to-door sales, but you may not fit that. You may not like that, but you might need to do it now, right? So, so there is a paradigm shift in the current way the workforce and jobs that are available and how people find those jobs and then apply. There's a paradigm shift in how people can go about that. So that's where Level Up Memphis comes in. And we are a career growth portal, and we're very applicant centered in that we allow the applicants to dictate who they're matched with. And also we allow them to rethink their professional identity. Instead of being a bartender, you're a bartender who is also really good at painting, or you're a bartender that's really good at, you know, whatever you're good at. So we also help people use their talents to generate income right away. We help kickstart remote work, freelancing work profiles on various sites like Fiverr. We also will aggregate jobs from other job boards in the city of Memphis. So one of our core features is a very easy profile creation process. Essentially, we will have a wizard where you fill out certain questions like your skills, qualifications, preferred jobs. And we hope by doing that, we can match you with your skills match to job givers or contractors. And by doing so, we can create a more quick feedback loop. And then the applicant can accept a virtual meet and greet with the person to kind of verify, build that trust. So here's our site. It's kind of rough right now, but this is a picture. But it is mostly available. So we have there's our landing page. You can connect to jobs and gigs, and you fill out this form, which is next. So next we're going to have Gabe fill out the form. Now you can see, the type of questions we ask and see how easy it is to sign up. How do I switch? How do I switch it?
Oh, I think I was able to just swap over, Aaron.
Okay, cool.
All right, so this is the page that Aaron was just on, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here to this, and I'm going to hit that zoom button so it's easier on the eyes. All right, so this is where you would sign up. We're currently facilitating this through a Google form implementation. You can see that up front, we're going to grab some data, and that's going to be one of the themes on this form. So we'll want to have an email address so we can contact them, or they can be contacted by our platform when there's updates. We've got a little legalese here, and I'm not a lawyer, so don't take any legal advice from me, but we wanted to have something on here so that people were hopefully more confident that this was in their best interest. So you can opt out at this point, otherwise let's proceed. But as I said, I need an email, so there we go. All right. So pretty simple. This is going to bifurcate the audience. Are you looking to hire someone, or are you looking for work? And I'm going to go down both real quick and then back this truck up and go the other way. So let's say we're looking for talent. This is going to be a quick way to indicate what kinds of things, what are you looking to hire? Are you looking for a kind of one-time gig thing? You're looking for hiring full-timers, all the above, some assortment. Point is you can select. and then some keywords so that we can kind of sort what it is that you're looking for, and then a description of company, and then hopefully a link to their site. And then once they have done this, their end is pretty simple. Click submit and that's it. And then we encourage them to take a look around the site, view some of the job seeker profiles so they can start scooping people up. So that is the extent of the employer side. So let's go the other direction and see what happens if we're looking for work. So same kind of thing. You can indicate what kind of work it is that you're looking for. And then you have the option to look through everything, but you can certainly just skip if it doesn't apply to you, it wasn't what you wanted. Part-time, same thing, and so on. But you see all the different types of options there could be. We wanted to put some in so we could do this presentation, so this list is not exhaustive. One thing that is kind of interesting, we differentiated a little bit on the gigs since they're not all the same, and we wanted to cover a broad scope. So here's a couple of different things that you could do. We also have the opportunity to add other. So if there's things that maybe aren't on here, you could put stuff like this. So once we get to the next thing, we want to get to know them a little better. And I think this is where we become unique, because so far, maybe this is another implementation of Indeed. But we want them to kind of share, like, how would you define yourself, and do this in maybe a few ideas, a few skills here. And then where we think there's unique value is kind of this buckshot approach to how they can be found, or how people looking to hire them could engage with them. Nextdoor, for example, would be a great way if you know someone's next door neighborhood and you're on that app to say, hey, need someone to mow the lawn, or need someone to watch the kids, or whatever. That way it's within your community. And again, we want this to be local to the 901. But you also have more traditional avenues like Upwork and LinkedIn, which are more professionalism focused and career focused. But additionally, you have things like Etsy, someone who's maybe more crafty and able to put together a store online. How can we get that skill set out to the local community? Because you can't have an art show. You can't set up tents and go to art shows right now. So how do we get those artisans in front of people who might want to buy their work? So these are all ways that I don't think are traditionally sourced or ways that you can find people. And that's what we would hope to do with this. And you have the option to put a professional web or personal website if that applies to you. And then here, admittedly, through the Google Form implementation, we're not able to have them easily drop in links to those places, but that would be the idea long term. So currently they would enter links to whatever it is they shared, and then they too will be done and hit submit. So they automatically get a copy of their response. We have that data, and they can also see a breakdown of other submissions. So they can get an idea of what's going on, what are people looking for, what are they reporting? And the great thing is that this is all anonymous. So you'll notice that I don't have any personal identifiable information here, but people can get an idea of what are people looking for, and so they can review some of this data themselves. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing and throw it back to Aaron.
Okay, so next. All right, you guys see my screen now? Everybody see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, so then in the future, whenever we develop that wizard we just went through on the Google Forms, we hope that we'll be able to use that wizard to it will automatically create this type of profile for you. You see here, like you have your resume, your name, your skills right here, and then down here, below that will be your links to whatever sites you're on, and that's pretty much, once you once you fill out the sign up wizard, then you would have your profile. And that way you have all of it. This could also serve as like a mini site for your professional career. Because through here, you can have different links to all your Upwork profile, YouTube, and all that. So then next, we also have a resources page that will help job seekers maintain their portfolio, develop their skills in side hustle, adapt to future economic downturns. Maybe if there's any subsidies for COVID-19 testing, we'd also have a link to that. And then also how to get involved with community events. So I'm gonna go to the resources page. You can see I have job postings, professional development, unemployment benefits, and then we're gonna have links to all the different gig platforms. So people can get started, and we can have guides how to get started. And then, and some additional features we want to have in the future is have a matchmaking system where people can post an odd job or quick to hire type of job, like a remote work, and then they can be directly hired through our site. We get push notifications if somebody's interested in that type of thing. Like if I were to post, I'm interested in painting somebody's fence. I'll say I'm interested in that. So I said, I need my fence painted, and then on the app would directly either email or notify the person that said they wanted to do that, and then they would be able to say yes, I want to do it, or no. And then for remote work, we would like to have a consistent source of remote work. So say somebody says I need 100 hours of IT work or content writing, whoever, people can post it on our site, and we can dole that out to people, and they can jumpstart their profiles on Upwork or Fiverr through that way. And then also they would also be able to house their portfolio on our page, supposedly. That way they could have if they don't know how to make their own website to do that, they can use our site. And then our go-to-market strategy is we'll focus on job seekers directly affected by COVID-19. After we use that to get an influx of people on the platform. And we'll also offer standard job placement opportunities, like the traditional job board would. And then if this were to slow down on the medical end, a lot of those people might have to shift as well. If there's so many medical people working now, but then once the curve is flattened, it may not need as many. So what do they do now? And then the last is team slide is me, Aaron, Chakraborty, got Gabe on the, and then we all practically worked on this all week. All contributed in great ways. What else? Sri did the resource page. Gabe did the forms, and everybody gave great feedback, and all that stuff. Everybody did good. And then what's next? So what's next is we'll need a little help in the future on building a good, having that Google Forms or whatever form we use to be used to generate profiles, and also have a way to keep everybody's profile secure and all that. But besides that, that's Level Up Memphis. So let's all work together so we can level up Memphis and get through this important time, and when we get out of it, we'll be able to be more adaptive and connected. Yeah. So now it's time for questions.
Sure. I have, this is Ellen. I have one question. I was excited to see how you guys are kind of trying to pull in and connect with a lot of the existing job boards, because there are a million of them, and it can be kind of overwhelming if you are searching for a job. But I was wondering, I don't know if I'm fully understanding how that connection works exactly. So can you talk a little bit more about how your site would plug in with things like, everything from Indeed.com to LinkedIn to Etsy, whether is it mostly posting links to those sites, or does your site help auto-populate their profile into those different job sites, or what does that connection look like?
Well, essentially, those exist. We help people, like, we want to be our own job board, but also have links to existing job boards, like mostly through like the Memphis Chamber, I would say. Gabe, you have a? Gabe?
Hey, Gabe, I think you're muted still.
Here we go. All right. Yes. So let me show this real quick. I think this will help to see not the sign up, but the other tabs. There we go. All right. So on this page where you're able to see the profile. So Alan, to answer your question, if you were to have that sign up form that I showed, your Etsy would be one of these buttons down here.
Okay.
So you'd be kind of clicking out to that. And then for the resources, let me see here. That's email. That's our Slack. All right. For the resources page, the job boards would be linked out to up here. So,
Okay.
you know, we can certainly bucket them by, this is Memphis area. These are national, Indeed, Monster, Career Builder, etc. And then opportunistically, I know you didn't ask about this, but I want to jump in and show another component was to help, you know, as part of this kind of wholesale career growth opportunity, we wanted to promote like local meetups. And so we would be able to source out to those. We have Memtech User Group, Google Developers Group Memphis. So we can get people, you know, who may not think of that initially or have a hard time with networking, getting themselves out there, saving them the step of having to go find those things local to the area and just plugging them in right here.
Thanks, Gabe.
Yep.
Hey, this is Audrey. I got a question. I was really excited about the thought of kind of like reverse job hunting, and the actual job seeker is able to tell the employer what they really want to do. But there were some pieces seems like that were missing, and I was wondering, could you elaborate or kind of walk me through in more detail of what that process looks like?
Yeah. Let me handle this, Gabe, or what?
Yeah, go ahead.
So essentially, what we hope to have is a way for people to put their skills out, and then it would directly link you with an employer that wants people with those skills. This essentially takes the freelancer type model where it's like, I have these skills, I want to produce something for you right now, and you pay me for it. It takes that model and it makes it so that's like a feature of the job search. Because like currently you can't really use your freelancer work to get a job. Like if you tell somebody I have a freelancer side hustle, it's a side hustle, it's not a main thing. But I think if there's a way where you directly freelance or do remote work for an organization, because you can't actually, you know, be in their office right now, then that would benefit you because you would be able to get paid, do the work that you know how to do, and also grow as a worker. And then when things get better, you might be able to get hired directly through those employers, or and also, you know, there's odd jobs out there you could do. And I just think by reversing the process, you can make it, the pain points that a lot of job seekers have are eased. So we looked at a lot of different job boards. A lot of them are very employer focused. So it makes it easy for the employer to find talent, but it doesn't make it easy for the talent to get that interview. It's like, you know, it's like you look at your resume, look at your name, and that's it. You know, they don't really try to dig deeper usually. So it's like, how do you say, hey, I need somebody to do this one task right now. Can you do it? And then so they go through our platform, be able to directly connect with you, and then you do the job, and then.
Yeah, and Audrey, I would just add one thing that this page was intended to show, which is that this is only showing one page, almost like this is like a website for this person. But what we would have ideally is like when you're an employer and you're looking for people. So again, to show that applicant focus and that it's really giving them the leg up. It's that employers are going on and they're looking at several of these profiles kind of all at once. And so that's the implementation we don't have. And you could have, ideally, you could have filters. So you could say, I'm looking for people to do X, and then they see all the profiles that do X, and then they can kind of peruse them and shop for the employer and see which one they want to reach out to, which will give them access to these things along the bottom to learn more and kind of follow up in whatever way the job seeker has opted into sharing. So we weren't able to quite deliver on that today, but that would be what this profile page is intended to convey.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions? Perfect. Okay, thank you. Baya, would you and your team like to go?
Yes, I think we're it, right?
Yes.
Yes, we are ready.
All right. So we are the Underserved Connections group, and I just want to highlight my team members really quick that worked on this. My name is Maya Crosco-Harris, and then we had Sue Schnitzer, Marian Anderson, Jeremy Mitchell, Sean Winfrey, Anita Buggs, who I don't think is here today, and Regina. And I think Anthony provided some music for us. So Sean is going to share his screen with us so we can go through the video and slide it.
Sorry, I had to unmute. No days off.
Sean, can you pull up the PowerPoint? All right. Hi, I'm Marian Anderson, and I was a part of the team that addressed the unserved connections, which we learned how to connect with our population that does not have access to the internet or smartphones, as well as we address how we can help them find access resources like this. So how we started was we started with the Cloud on One, which is a team learning lab for 13 to 18-year-olds, and help them to develop the 21st century skills so they'll be able to innovate, collaborate, have critical thinking and problem solving. So the way we addressed the problem, we collected data from the Cloud 901's February 22 student census. And after reviewing the census, we found that students from high schools like East High School, T-STEM, Douglas, Melrose, and Overton. But our main concern was to focus on a high school that had was in a low poverty area, as well as having limited technology resources. So out of those schools surrounding that Binghamton area, we decided to focus on Douglas High School as a focal group. And like I said, in this particular problem, we will provide Douglas with resources and tablets and smartphones or monetary donations to help solve these issues or the issues that were addressed.
So we decided the best way to do that was to create some type of framework that could be easily implemented and that was accessible and could be sustained and scaled across the Shelby County School District. So we identified the best conduit to help in this situation would be the Family and Community Engagement Office of SCS, since they directly work with the school or the student population that we wanted to target. And on the school side, we decided to identify the principal as the administrator who knows her school's needs and her population's needs, who can then funnel resources based off of the need. So we decided to create some kind of framework that a representative, Dr. Dwayne Scott from the Family and Community Engagement Office, who is their resource manager, thought would be beneficial to help them assist in getting more resources to their students, and a way or a framework for them to calculate survey info and to connect with donors and different things like that, so they could easily implement this situation and directly affect or impact the community in which has the most need. In this pilot, we chose Douglas, but it could also be scaled across SES to ultimately reach all of the students. So I'll let Sue talk more about in detail what we chose in our framework and how it will help the population we're trying to reach.
Hi, so what you're looking at are the mission and vision for SCS schools. Sean, can you just go to the website? We'll just go straight to the website. Thank you. We decided to have one driver. It would make it easier. So we came up with two main work products, all of which are live. Actually, it's three. It's two main platforms, and then one of those platforms has two products. What we designed were a website that we can stop right there. We'll scroll in a minute. We designed a website that we wanted to make a website that would be kind of simple, clean, easy for donors to see where to look, easy for teachers and school administrators to see where to look. And we'll show you later, there's a section for the public as well. And we wanted to make it something that would be easy to hand off and that SCS could easily edit it if they needed to. So we used Wix as our platform to do that. And then the other thing we set up were Google Forms so that donors could say what they have to donate, and school administrators, if they wanted to, could say, hey, we want to get in on this too. And again, we did those on Google Forms, so again, it would be easy to hand those off to SCS. And actually, everything is ready to hand off now. It's just a matter of when SCS is ready to take it all. So going through the website, you saw the home page, which we have Sean's really cool video. And we purposely made that real simple, but made sure to have our donate button on there, so that if somebody just wanted to click on that and donate right away, they could go straight to the Google form and do that. Then if you go to page 2, that's where we give a little more information about the need, and basically tell them that your donation is going straight to a student, and the students are being identified by the schools. We also put the information on there for the teachers and school administrators that if you want to get in on this, have one person from your school submit the form so we don't get multiple forms. The other thing we wanted to provide was information to the public about some low-cost internet options that we know they currently have. And that's what this section here is, where we have Comcast and AT&T. And then finally, we told a little bit about us. And we got the contact information from SCS that we could put on there if people want to get more information or talk to them directly. So again, we tried to keep it clean, simple, in a format that people didn't have to click around the site a lot to find things. They can go straight to the home page and find the donate button right there. Sean, can you click on the form? Let's see, let's just open up the donor form real quick. Is that gonna open? There. So this just gives you an example of what the donor form looks like. It's pretty straightforward. Just, you know, what's your organization like, if your organization or maybe you're an individual, what type of device are you donating? Very important, does it work? Does it turn on? And then the quantity, how many, and then you may have other comments like, oh, it doesn't have a power cable, or it needs this or whatever. And then if they want to, they can put in the estimated value. And then the question is, would you like to donate software as well? Maybe they have Microsoft Windows or something on that. SCS uses Outlook 365. So they're doing most of their stuff in the cloud, but that would be important. If there's Windows on there, that would make it a lot easier for the student maybe to work on, do Word and then upload the Word project to the cloud. So they might not need internet access to create their schoolwork. So that's kind of what we have in, with Google Forms. As you probably all know, it would be easy for SCS to pull up the spreadsheet that would show the responses. We also have the form set up so it will send an automatic response to the person who fills it out. And I believe that is all I've got to say about the website and our Google Forms.
Sweet. Are we ready for any questions?
Yeah, we've still got more to discuss. Go through.
We got a little more. These are just our contacts. Dr. Dwayne Scott sat in on one of our meetings and he was the one that we asked the direct question, is there a need for this work product? And his answer was yes, most definitely. On the right is the principal of Douglas. Unfortunately, I don't remember her name.
Miss Marquita Stewart. She's the principal at Douglas. She actually completed the form for a test and input for us, just our basic for our administrator side, so we can have some type of idea if it works okay and if it was relevant. And she did put input information on our form as a test.
And her information was pretty eye-popping. I think she said there's a need for, was it 400?
600.
600 units. I mean, yeah, you talk about an underserved population. So I believe Regina comes up next. We can, I talk through that so we can skip the next slide and go to the next.
One more, partners. There we go. Okay, and so in order to really spread the word, once we have a good pilot set up at Douglas, and again, Douglas was selected, a great idea that these are students that are walking as much as 4 miles after school from Douglas High School to Cloud 901 because they don't have access, they don't have a computer. So it shows you a highly motivated set of students. But we feel like we can get the word out on this concept through the partners on the page, which Comcast Business has a program right now. And if a donor wanted to give $100, for example, that would give a family 1 year of access because 2 months right now are free. Same with AT&T. And those organizations may be extending their dates, so we want to stay in touch to see how their COVID-19 programs are continuing. Other groups, the Upskill 901 initiative with the Greater Memphis Chamber, spoke to those contacts yesterday. They're very interested in this. And in fact, they're looking at similar programs within Shelby County schools. So they would like to promote this. They have a newsletter called Monday Morning that goes out every week and highlights initiatives for COVID-19. Code Crew and Tech 901, both are working within the school system and are providing coding classes and certifications. So we feel like they have a vested interest that if these students have a computer, they're probably the next pipeline of talent for their activities. We believe City of Memphis is really looking at and Shelby County looking at the entire landscape to help on COVID-19. Cloud 901, we've already mentioned. And there is a group that ER2, Environmentally Responsible Recyclers, they're giving devices to Shelby County schools, but they're also taking inoperable computers and refurbishing them to give them back to the school, or if not, sell them for strategic metals. Otherwise, that's sort of their business model. But to assess and look at, are these computers effective and to be passed through to a family in the Douglas High School community. We also think that the faith-based communities such as Life Church and Mount Olive Baptist, which have ties to the Douglas area, would also be a great way to get the word out. And then in terms of donation, it was already mentioned earlier, but School Seed, as we know, is the fiscal agent and partner to all the schools. And so they have a donation page, they have a COVID-19 relief program. There's a comment section, so you can say, where do you want your donation to go, if it's cash or if it's a device. So this project could be cited in that comment section, and then close ties with a Vince McCaskill or other within School Seed to ensure that the funding is getting to the right school, in this case Douglas, but over time across the Shelby County school landscape. So, and again, Shelby County Schools is a core partner here as well. And great to see that the first principal we approached already signed up on the administrator's sheet and determined that 600 students, households, could use a computer. Partnership will ensure that this project goes well. So I'll turn it back over to Maya.
All right, questions?
I have a question. So this initiative is probably very near and dear to my heart. We've been trying to pilot a couple of these. So I'm very curious to know, first of all, how do you plan to standardize or manage multiple platforms that these computers might be coming in on? Considering that like one school maybe take for instance working with their stuff in the cloud, and one school may be very behind on the digital curve and not even looking at putting anything on the cloud. And two, how are you planning to manage logistics as far as like distribution?
So
let me, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
go ahead. Okay, so we're basically just have created basically a framework or an idea for them face office to adopt, who has infrastructure set up because they already receive resources and have a system in how they distribute things. Like they had the thought to be able, can we find a way or develop a program or a campaign to, in one, take in donations and then get them specifically. We just kind of helped them with the way to do that, that they hadn't formally put resources behind to be able to do. So with them being able to have a form which they can receive the information or a way to contact the donors that's easy, then they can, within their office, based off of their systems or way of doing things, they can then disperse the resources to the schools because they already do that in some form or another on a daily basis, because that's what their office is for, resources for schools and making sure they get money, things like that. So they have an individual within the school who works in their office, a district representative in every school, that they can, serve as a contact person or the direct person to work with each school to handle it. We were just here to help them kind of get the ball rolling, or what our product is to help them get the ball rolling, because they haven't had the resources or the energy to develop a framework or a structure to be able to get the ball rolling.
And if I can add, this is Regina, that the FACE office, for example, to get specific on Douglas, we talked about the idea, because they have the recipient data, to encourage them to drop off on a Thursday afternoon at the curb. So there's a specific time, a place, and that's where we think our contact with ER2 could be present as well, to assist in assessing the computers, taking them back to their facility if necessary. We want to coordinate as well within Shelby County Schools IT department to ensure there's a clear sense that these are operable, safe for the family that would receive them.
Just to follow up on that, so basically SCS would take control of the inventory. There would
Well,
be locations at various sites perhaps, or how would that work? I guess
well, just to answer some of the questions, I'm sorry, Miss Regina. One thing with SES, they do have an IT department itself. Even though we can work with the environmental group, SES does have a staff of technical support where they can as well assist with making sure these laptops, smartphones, PCs are equipped to do what these students need to do.
This is Regina again. In addition, members of the IT Council, which I represent, Unistar Sparco Computers, ProTac Services Group, they have engagements with Shelby County Schools as well. So we believed we would seek their support because they already troubleshoot. They provide the new computers. ER2 provides refurb computers and a handshake to make sure that these are checked and if they need to be taken back for repurposing or just, prepared and cleaned appropriately for a household. And we feel confident we can get the volunteerism through IT Council members because they already work and want to engender goodwill with Shelby County Schools.
Guess that's it. No?
Did we leave any question unanswered?
I hope not.
Perfect. Are there any other questions?
I have a question. I'm Joanne Street, and I live in the Hollywood Hyde Park area, which is adjacent to Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you know where the Hollywood Community Center is, 1560 North Hollywood, which is our closest center.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the children live so far away, like you say, they're motivated to walk. Sometimes it's a little dangerous to go across Chelsea. So I, along with some other community residents, bought children tablets, and we issue them out in Gooch Park, that's located right next to Buckman International at 1974 Hunter Avenue, because the kids couldn't walk that far. Only to find out this past week that they didn't have access to the internet, didn't know where to go. So as I went on to SCS's website, I did find out that a company called Spectrum could give them access to the internet. I've only had one family, I think, to phone in and say that they were successful in getting that information out, because we couldn't get the extended learning material to the children. And I don't have children, but I'm the Park Friends Group coordinator. And that's how I actually introduced myself to the kids. Is we have the park, and then so the kids have a safe place to play. We opened the pool, and with Buckman we were painting the pavilion to make it a more inviting place. And through partnership with Urban Arts Commission, we're going to paint a wall mural and invite the kids to do a community engagement project to help paint the wall. And so it's become, that's how we've become acquainted with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're going to form a group so that we can communicate and find out what the needs are. Now, what I can do with that data in the community is I find out, their food, they have a lot of basic needs. So basically, these are so smart kids. They can do math like you would not believe, and science. And they're living in a public housing where sometimes it's not as safe. And so we're trying to let them know that if you don't feel safe, call. And some of the residents will come over there and sort of like let them see us. And so, but basically, I don't know exactly how to get the information to them. I thought it would be through the teachers, through the schools, but the closest school.
Well, I was just, Ms. Joy, I think that research, we were talking about, they have professional learning coaches for each school. And so that could be a resource to provide, more concrete evidence, because the PLC is going to not only know what the school needs, but as well as the students. They actually take census from the students. And so that helps us a little bit to know, hey, they might need this in their home, but like you say, they had problems getting on the internet, had problems trying to contact. So definitely in the school system, PLCs would be a definitely good contact for that.
Okay, I tried to call the 416-5300, no answer. So I don't know where to go and get those booklets or how to get them to, get the extended learning material. I'm bouncing between Hollywood Community Center and Dave Wells because of where the children live. Some of them think go to Douglas, some go to KIPP, which is closed pretty much. Can't get anyone over there. And if I'm having trouble, I know the parents are frustrated trying to get this information. But if it were more clear on the SCS website as to where I can go, I can access internet. But I couldn't figure it out where to go to get the printed materials to give to the children who can't access internet. And like I said, we're buying tablets.
This is Regina to respond to your comment. Working with the community centers was also core, which is why we want to drive down to one locality, one high school, and look at the surrounding support services that can really engage and get the word out. So what you're doing is a perfect example at Hollywood Community Center that would serve this project, because it's got to happen grassroots.
Okay, we're out there, we're willing and we're able, and we're connecting with each other, and we're trying to figure out how we can get people in there to know it's safe. The kids are waiting and they're bright. I just love them. So thanks for what you do.
I've got a question. Working on another project with Shelby County Schools, YMCA, doing food distribution. And one of the things I heard is that you're having challenges also distributing the learning packets. And so there may be an opportunity for us to just piggyback with this other project I'm working on. But I just wanted to clarify that was sounds like an issue that having right now.
Yes.
And on the point of food service delivery, the internet access to AT&T and Comcast Business is designated for school lunch, the free lunch program. So that ties to the learning packet and then pickup of the delivery service.
Should I be contacting Comcast or AT&T?
On the website, we have contact information for both programs, Internet Essential and the current program AT&T has for COVID-19. Those dates of the programs are ending fairly soon, but I envision they're going to extend it.
Oh, hope so. I'll try to find that information so that I print it out and give it to. I'm delivering food for families over there, that area, so I can have that information and I'll distribute it.
Okay, both organizations have collateral and they're willing to give as many pieces as you think you could use. And to your point on Spectrum, we should add that to the website because Spectrum is another provider. So it was not limited to just AT&T and Comcast. Any provider, Verizon probably has a good program. So keeping all that in one place would really help Shelby County Schools.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Joanne, I dropped a link in the chat. So if you, this is the link to the website that we made. And so if you go to it today, there's this reduced fee internet options at the very top. You can visit that, and that you should be able to print it out because we kept it super simple so that it would be easy to print out just that section. So you can copy and paste that into a Word document or anything like that, or just print out that specific page, and then you can distribute that.
Okay, what was the website again?
Do you see it in the chat, in the Zoom chat? Are you on a mobile device? I don't know how the chat works on there.
Right, it went away. It was up there and then it disappeared. Unless I hit the wrong.
Sometimes if you hover your mouse over the screen, it pops back up.
Okay.
And we will send a copy of these PDFs and any relevant links to all of our participants and everyone who signed up. So if you had a link to get into this, then you're already on the mailing list and you'll be getting a copy of all this information probably at the beginning of next week. Are there, oh, and Kevin, if you want to if you want to PM Joanne your contact information so that you two can help kind of get all that coordinated. That'd be a good idea. Are there any other questions for Team TechShare 901?
I have one more comment. Sorry, it's Regina, but Greg Blumenthal messaged, and he did let us know early on the call that he has taken census data and has been able to come up with a mapping of internet access for each neighborhood. So basically, he says roughly 30% of households in the Douglas High School area have no internet devices, and 50% currently have no internet access. So we know specific kids. This gives the landscape for every school area for where the real need is. So tying those together, what the administrator sees, like 600 devices, plus this big, macro view, allows us to really dive into where the need is the greatest.
Yes, I have that data mapped out by census tracts, and I can make that available.
That would be amazing. Perfect, thank you. Is there anyone else? Thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your lives and week to help others by doing this. We are very, very excited to see how these things continue to grow and help out everyone in the Mid-South. Thank you all. I cannot thank you enough. I owe you all a snack or a beverage of choice.
Can we give you our round of applause collectively? It was really good.